Hello. Sorry, I'll have the music up in just a second. I'm running a little later than usual. Um, so it's just it's funny. Like I I stayed up super late to from Medieval Lofi, okay. Uh I s- I stayed up super late, well for me at least, working on doing dishes and stuff because I didn't uh uh I'm supposed to do dishes on Saturday night, right? But Saturday night I just didn't have the energy for it. So it makes sense. Sunday night I would do the dishes. So that's what happened. But it took longer than I expected. Why is it so hard for me to get to the medieval lo-fi? There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Got some music going. All right, so we're going to have a variety of things going on tonight. So this should be interesting. Um So come along on this ride with me as we delve into the troubles of making a PDF readable. So there are different ways to make PDFs, which I've been learning about recently. Um, I could make it in OpenOffice, but that I would have to do a lot of things manually, and that's not really the way I want to get it done. Um, and the tool I want to use has one singular problem with it. And it always sucks when there's a tool that does everything you need except for one thing. And that is that I have no control over where the page break is, over how far apart, like where, so the page break can be at really random spots. And if I want this to be presentable, I kind of want it to be like a bit more organized. Um but I'm gonna have to deal with that because it's the best tool I've got. Okay. People know that my stream is live. Okay. Okay. What's happening? Hey, Nexus Sheep, how are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you. What have you been up to? Come on. Oh, do you know what you're sick with, or is it just like generally not feeling well? Um, well, seasonal depression has been kicking my butt. Oh, asthma. Oh goodness, that stinks. Uh, it's a thing where uh seasonal depression has been kicking my butt and um uh daylight savings time was not kind to me. Daylight savings time, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's this thing in America where we change all of our clocks either ahead an hour or behind an hour, and not every state in America does it. And it was supposed to serve some kind of purpose in the past, but it never really served that purpose, and it's just generally a bad idea. Um, but the thing is, now even when I was already struggling to maintain my schedule, right? I'm an hour later to everything. Well, thank you, Nexus. Mm-hmm. So have you gone to the doctor about your asthma? Have you gotten like daily medication or an inhaler or something? I have a friend that has to put up with daylight savings time. Yeah, it really does mess with the schedule. You got medications since it's a rare thing. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's one of those things that you can just control with like daily medicine or something. I still suggest, like, I know I'm not a medical professional, but I've lived with asthma most of my life. And like my asthma is one of those things that like under normal circumstances is not a big deal, but like um I keep my inhaler nearby at all times. Like I remember when I had COVID, I was like glued to my inhaler for 2 days. It was like 3 days actually, but it was rough. It was just so hard to breathe. Um, and that was just what dragged me through it. It was interesting, um, because at the time I was in this situation where I was between inhalers, right? And um um I was between inhalers, but one of my housemates I was living with at the time had an inhaler of the same prescription as me and was like, "Hey, I'm about to go get a new inhaler. Do you want my old inhaler? I haven't used it yet." And I was like, "Yes." And that just like carried me through. And then I did eventually get another inhaler. So now I have one that it's partially used that I used when I had COVID that I just have out. And then I have another one that I haven't cracked open yet that I keep on standby because like if my asthma flares up, I need immediate relief. All right. Sorry, I'll get on to the actual just chatting screen in just a second. I'm letting people know that the stream is live. Yeah, that immediate relief that they bring is just so life-saving. But if your doctor, like, again, you follow your doctor's advice. If your doctor thinks you don't need it, then, you know, by all means. Oh, well, Nexus. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Okay. Okay. So here's the crux of it all is that you know your body better than anyone else. So if you think you don't need it and your doctor agrees with you, nobody can tell you like tell you otherwise. So I know that having an inhaler works for me, but that may not be the solution for everybody. Okay. All right. Thank you. Like once I get started doing things, I'm doing all right. Um, it's just getting started. The getting started part gets hard. All right, let me get to boop. There we go. Yeah, it's always the getting started part that gets really difficult for me. After I get started, I get going and I'm doing all right. How have your streams been, Nexus? I know you said you haven't been feeling well because the asthma stuff, but have you been playing any fun games or doing any cool stuff on stream? Didn't you do like a karaoke stream or something a while back? I think I tuned in for. I can't remember. I'll be honest. I can't remember if it was you or if it was somebody else whose karaoke stream I tuned in for. Okay, what did you stream? What did you do? I know it's been a while since I tuned into your stream. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But what did you stream on Sunday? Or whatever your last stream was. What did you do? Overwatch 2, switched to Wolfenstein 2. That crasher tried to play, I don't know, King of Fighters 2? I don't know what that KF2 is. With a friend, and then also had problems with Borderlands 2. And that had problems as well, so we ended up settling for Left 4 Dead 2. Well. Oh, Killing Floor 2. Okay. I was like, I guess you're playing a classic game, King of Fighters 2. So I see a trend here, Nexus. It looks like you had an entire stream of sequels. Everything you were playing was to this, to that, to this, to that, which is really interesting, because it's interesting to see, like, if the first game in a series is like its proof of concept, trying to get its idea out of the world. Oh, I know that feeling, Nexus. But the second game is usually refining that concept, making it into something more, or sometimes the second game throws the concept out and tries to go in a completely different direction. But whatever it is a response to what happened in the first game, and it's always interesting to see how that pans out. I have an interesting history with fighting games. My brother, who doesn't talk to me anymore, was obsessed with fighting games and was really good and dreamed of doing competitive fighting games one day. And I learned fighting games exclusively to help him train and to try to gas him up, to get him excited, so that way he could go to professional tournaments. But I never succeeded. He never actually went, that I know of, to any professional tournaments. He was still too self-conscious about all of it. And like, I had trouble doing the combos. I had trouble doing the super moves. So I just learned how to do all the basic attacks really well. And like trying to get me to do half circles and quarter circles and dragon moves and all that. Like I learned it a little bit, but it was a mess. I think the most I ever learned was learning Balrog from Street Fighter V. And that was just because Street Fighter V was around for so long. You had to learn it. And also, I used to cosplay Balrog. I did it like twice. I cosplayed Balrog. I got my hair cut so that way there were these the angles and stuff. And I was working out to try to get in shape and to do the Balrog cosplay. I even entered a cosplay contest. I didn't win, obviously. Well, the Naruto game was an anime game, and an anime game, because there are different types of fighting games, and in anime games, a lot of times just mashing buttons will get you pretty far. Because there's so many high-paced combos, and there's combos for everything. So like just mashing buttons will get you kind of far in a lot of those games. But the thing is, right, in modern fighting games, they're introducing new new mechanics, and not new mechanics, new control schemes. That's kind of like a simplified control scheme. Like I know at least what was it? I think it was like Blaze Blue introduced it one time. Uh and I heard that Street Fighter 6 is gonna have it, where there's like two main control schemes. There's the simplified control scheme, or it's called, I think it's called stylish is or something. And then there's gonna be the regular control scheme. Yeah, something like that, Nexus. But for the games that have a stylish control scheme, um, it completely simplifies the moves, so that way anyone, even someone who doesn't play fighting games, can keep up. Um, but it only gives you access to like half your move list. But with that half your move list, someone can just button mash on the stylish setting and have no idea what they're doing and keep up with your average gamer, your average fighting game player using the regular control scheme. And I was excited about that because that meant that I might be able to actually play with my brother. And so when I told my brother about it, he's like, "Okay, I have no interest in Street Fighter 6 anymore. I'm not going to subject myself to trying to play a game that has any kind of stylish or simplified control scheme, because then people are just gonna button mash and gonna just beat me up." And I'm like, with your skill, you can learn the other half of the combos and do more. But he just wanted none of it, and it kind of became a moot point because we don't talk anymore. So since we don't talk anymore, we couldn't game anyway. Hmm. Yeah, something like that. So today I'm oh wow, ooh, voice. Excuse me, sorry. So today, in a little bit, we're going to be starting working on a TTRPG that I'm making. I'm making a game because it kind of bugged my brain. And originally, I was just going to do a writing stream, but I was like, you know what? I haven't done one of these streams in a while, so I'll do it. Change up the schedule a little bit because normally Mondays is just a writing stream. It's just a writing stream where I do a lot of writing stuff. But I was like, let's do this because it's still putting words on paper, and what I'm going to work on today is going to be taking the notes that I already have and putting them into a PDF and organizing them in a way that I can hand to other people and say, "Hey, do you want to play test this?" Because I can't give people my like random bundle of notes where everything's in a completely random order. It's all in the order that I thought of them on. That's true, Nexus. Okay. There's so many memes on Twitter I just can't keep up with. Like there's the one with the penguin sticking out the hole in the box. Asking for obscure information and obscure knowledge about some different topic. Yeah, and then so there's that one, and that one I enjoy because it's always some kind of interesting information that I haven't seen before. But then there's the other Twitter meme. That's the dude from Rapunzel with all the swords pointed at him, and they're like, "What's your take that in such and such topic that will have everyone like this at you?" And like people just use that to make a lot of these just really terrible takes that like under normal circumstances they'd never vocalize. And like some of them you can be like, "Oh, that's kind of have a point," even though it's like really messed up, right? But some of them are just really bizarre. And you see people who will respond and come out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh, you right, brave, you right," about some stuff that's just really bizarre. And I'm like, I'm getting really tired of seeing the dude with swords pointed at him, you know? And it's like, so Twitter, um, uh, I started going on Twitter as my escape because I can't really vent or talk about a lot of things on Facebook because my family is my friend on Facebook and I'm not dealing with making another Facebook account, right? So Twitter is where I can actually be myself, where I don't have to be the me they all know. I can just be Orion. Um, but like as time has gone on, it's become kind of a source of stress. As every time I log in, there's more bad news. There's some other governmental body in America that is taking away rights from innocent people. There's some other corporation that's doing something cruddy, and like um it's this thing where like it's good to know those things because it helps me be aware of what's going on in the world. But then having all that bad news come my direction constantly is just really, really stressful sometimes. No, I'm sorry, Nexus. Yeah, it's a mess. So many things. Uh, so many things just get really tiring in the world, you know? All right. Anyway, now that we're done with that, let's get going. Tonight's gonna be a little bit scuffed. I'm gonna be. Actually, hold on. Let me ping one of my regulars because I'm surprised they haven't shown up yet. Because normally I have two regulars that pop in. Uh, that pop in. One of them. Oh, okay. Nexus. I'm glad to have you. I'm grateful for the lurk. One of my regulars said they lost track of time. Okay. Yeah, it is Monday, so I'm sure people are having trouble getting started. Hey, Silva. Mondays can be quite brutal. Yeah, I just saw your message, Silva, about the Gundam news that we're getting a whatchamacallit, a... Alright, Nexus, thank you for the lurk. Thanks for coming. It was good talking to you. Alright, and... boo. Okay, now let me get... Okay, I guess I'll get window capture. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Why did this? Why is this not? Why is this not working? Tonight's gonna be a little bit scuffed as I try to get this. Let me try game capture. Let me see if that works. Oh, now it works. Okay. All right, now let me... Okay, there we go. Cool. All right, so... All right, so let's get started on tonight's project. So, tonight my project is to get all of this stuff put together onto a PDF using the Notion program. I don't know how much of it I'm going to get done. We're going to get done as much as we can and see where it leaves me. This is just going to be an initial PDF. I'll have to do some formatting stuff later. Let me see one thing I wanted to check out. Because the thing is, Notion has all the bells and whistles that I want. It just doesn't have a way for me to separate page breaks, so the page breaks are going to happen at really random spots. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Okay. Alright, so we've got lore. Now we go into the basic game mechanic, which is going to go into the dice. That gets pulled from... Okay. Okay. Yep, Nabiru, the week has already started. Good to see you. Let me guess, you were off busy reading more manga? Okay. Oh, you were watching YouTube? You were on the YouTubes? Alright, so we've got lore. So next thing that needs to happen is... let me see. Hold on. Let me check this. This one is... This one's heading 2, which is medium. This is heading 1, which is big. Why is this? Is this the title? Okay. And this is heading, which one's this one? This is heading 3. Okay, cool. Let me... then I'll put... So what were you watching on YouTube, Nabiru? I know I lately have been watching a bunch of food videos. Watching Eric the Electric, who does these food challenges. And it's like, unlike other people, Eric's food challenges aren't generally about speed. They're about capacity, and he eats an extreme capacity, but he seems to enjoy almost everything he eats, at least at first, for the first part of the challenge. Genshin is a play. Oh, them's fighting words. I'm not one of the Genshin people, but I can see that being some fighting words. So I'll make a note that you're going to need spare paper. Okay. There we go. Cool. Added that. That's good. So now we'll do... Heading 1. Okay. Okay, now let me pull from this. Okay. Etc. Okay. I'm not going to include the exploding dice text because I don't know if that's a copyrighted term. Okay. Okay, so now we got 2 columns. Come on. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you said something, Silva. I got so focused on it. YouTuber made a video dissecting it and memeing on it as it was okay. That's funny, Nabiru. The remake of RA4 has been exceptional, by the way. I would say that it dethroned RA4 as the best in the series. Like, you may think you know RA4 going into this, but trust me, you no longer know RA4. Everything I've been expecting has been subverted in one way or another. I've heard about that. So I've heard someone talk about, I think it was the Act Man, who's notorious for having some really lukewarm takes. But he made a complaint that, like, while the game mechanics were good, that he felt like what did he say? he felt like the story was messed up, and that the story had been written by someone who didn't understand what made the story of RE4 work. And other people were like roasting him for it and being like, "What are you talking about?" What? Okay, there we go. So that's got that. That's got the difficulty. That's done. All right. Okay. All right. Let's call it a table because that's what it is. It's a table. That's not the button I wanted. So like, my computer has a thing for like pulling up a diagnostic system that like keeps track of my temperature and how the fans are running and all that other stuff. And the button to call that is right next to the backspace. So a lot of times when I'm pressing backspace, I'll accidentally press that, and then this window will pop up on my screen. And it's kind of funny, but it's not helpful. Okay. All right. So that's that. Yeah. Yes. Exactly, Nabiru. That's difficulty. Okay, I gotta get into general game difficulty and fortune misfortune. How do I get this? Okay. No. How do I get out of this mode? I need to get back over here. There we go. There we go. Cool. Awesome. Outstanding. Hope this isn't stuck at 2 columns. How do I exit the 2 column setting? Okay, I think this is out of the 2 columns. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright. Took me a little bit in order to find that. Okay. Awesome. Okay, then we go to heading 2. Okay, now let me pull the data from the general game difficulty. Copy. Alright. I think I need to actually put defense in the middle here. How do I spell discretion? Hold on. Look this up. Oh, Discretion. Okay. There we go. Cool. Okay, and then we'll say cool. All right, awesome. General game difficulty GGD. Okay. Uh, okay. So now what we're doing here is so general game difficulty is a mechanic I came up with where if the GM can't decide on a defense for the player to roll against, the general difficulty is what the player rolls against. And this is selected at the start of the campaign. The players are informed what the general difficulty is, and as part of the mechanics of this, um, the players always know what the general game difficulty is. If the general game difficulty changes, the players find out. They may not find out why it's changing. Now, it could be changing as a result of some world-shaking event that has altered the very fabric of reality, or it could just be the GM realized that they set the difficulty too high, and they want to slide that back down. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right. That's that. All right, gotta get the information on roll-offs. And fortune, misfortune. Let's do fortune, misfortune first. So let me pull that. Okay. Which one's this one? This one heading 2? Yeah, this one's heading 2. So heading 1 is like chapters. This one's heading 1, right? Yeah, that one's heading 1. This one's heading 2. I'll do another heading 2, right? I'll do another heading 2. All right. Okay. There we go. We're getting things organized. All right. That space should be easier to read. You read about fortune, you read about misfortune. Okay. Much better. Whoops. Sorry about that. Clicked the wrong button. We are making great progress. We're chugging right along. So we got the fortune, misfortune. Next, we have to put in roll-offs. Space. All right, so it automatically makes a little bit of space whenever I change to a title. Okay. So I'll change, what's this one? Heading 2? Yes. Yeah, heading 2. I'll change to heading 2. Okay. It helps that I have all this stuff written out. So a lot of stuff I can just copy and paste over. Takes a little bit of formatting in order to make it all fit because I'm moving it from I like this mechanic of a roll off. It's based on something I got from Titanomachy, uh, that, who is the originator of the system. Roll off. There we go. Okay. All right. So we've got the roll off. Good. All right. Got the lore. We've got the. I came up with a lot of custom things for this game. Is that all the stuff for the basic game mechanic? Dice, difficulty, general game difficulty, fortune, misfortune, roll offs. All right, that's it for that chapter. Next, let's get into character creation because that's going to be important. It's going to be interesting trying to represent this on the sheet. What did I decide for the human versus non-human stats? I think I'm going to rearrange all of that. Ooh, I need to introduce tokens. No, that I'll introduce tokens after I introduce abilities, powers, and yeah, I'll introduce tokens and EXP in advancement section. Okay. Now, what do I introduce first for character creation? I should start with the skills. Yeah, everything else derives from the skills, so I'll start with the skills. Okay. Yeah, the skills are the core mechanic that people are going to be using to roll with. And actually, I need to use the bathroom, so yes, the limits are going to be really important. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I need to go use the bathroom. Gonna do a stretch break and a potty break. I'm back. I'm back. So, you're right. I need to clarify what can be accomplished with skills, which that's gonna come into play in a little bit. Like a pebble through concrete, something like that. I want to give a lot of freedom. So, one of the things I've been learning about is I've gone down a really deep rabbit hole with all of this, right? And the thing that I've been learning about is that there exists two main types of TTRPGs, right? At least from what I've seen. There is a system that you use to tell a story, and a story with a system you use to play through it. And a lot of games have that, and I wouldn't say so much a story as much as a setting, where they give you a preset setting that you play through. And that could be really interesting and give you a lot of focus, can give you a lot of direction, and it could be a great source of inspiration, right? But that's not what I'm going for. I'm trying to create a very generalized system that is very flexible, that GMs can use to create their own unique magical girl stories, because there are all kinds of magical girl stories. There are so many different types. It's not just the magical warrior, which is one of the things I've been learning about, because so much of what I thought of when it came to magical girl was different types of magical girl warriors, but learning that that's just one type of magical girl has been a very important part of this adventure. Okay. So I want to I want to do this right. Yeah, there are all different kinds, and I want to create a scenario where this game can be used to simulate all manner of different types of magical girl games. Okay. Let me get down to the skills. Where did I put the skills? Where did I put the skills in this document? There we go. Cool. Oh yeah, I also have to make a point to talk about resting. Okay. Like, this is already a bit more complicated because I've only read one game that used the Emerge8 system, which is what I'm using for this. And I know I already have more, like, additional mechanics than that game had. And that's one of the reasons I'm very concerned, because I don't want to be guilty of feature creep where I add in so many different features that the game just becomes clunky and difficult to play. But I want there to be mechanics for the different things that can reward players and give a good guide for players and GMs to accomplish their goals. Okay. Core mechanic was heading 1, right? Yes, okay. Character creation. Okay. I want to put defense in here. No, I explained defense in combat. Okay. Yeah, I'll explain. Okay, I'll explain defense in combat. Okay, so now let me go to my skills. Here we go. Let me check. Let me see something real quick. Okay. I'm still debating if I should introduce defense. Well, introducing defense makes no sense if I haven't introduced the skills because they generate defense via the skill mechanic. Because I could add defense in there along with the roll off. Because after general game difficulty, Let's just get through this right now. All right, and then let me do this. Ah. How do I define this properly? This is one of the things. Um. I forgot how to word this properly. Okay. Hmm. Number of d8s. Okay, I think we've got something here. I think I like how this one's phrased. Okay. Your d8s in that particular skill. Hey Tom, we're working on making a game. I think I mentioned this to you before. I'm working on making a TTRPG, and right now, so I have a notepad document that has all of my thoughts that I'm working with. But it's all in this jumbled up mess that I can't really show to other people. So what we're working on tonight is taking all of those ideas, plus all of the core mechanics that I got from the SRD that I'm using uh, for the core mechanic of the game, and putting all of that together in an organized single document that I can give to people and say, hey, check this out. Would you be interested in running or playing this game, and to give me feedback on this idea? So that's what we're working on tonight, Tom. But how was your weekend, Tom? You do anything exciting? All right. It was all right. I had an interesting experience where um, I ran my Sunday Lancer game went really fun. It was the culmination of this big character arc, and there was all this really interesting character conflict in the game, where like the the PC's like different ideals and goals and personalities were like coming to a head as they were all expressing their what they wanted. Okay, so with this system, I use, instead of a D20 system, this is a D8 system. This is the core mechanic. So you assemble a dice pool based on your skill or your ability that you're rolling, and then so actually what I'm writing right now is I'm writing the number of skills. And whenever you're rolling with a skill, you have different ranks. You can have up to 4 ranks in any skill. And for each rank you have in a skill, you will roll that many d8s whenever you're trying to use that skill. And you compare that to a difficulty that you compare each individual d8 to the difficulty set by the GM. So like if there's a difficulty 5, for instance, then you're using a skill that for instance, you have like 2 ranks in, you would roll the 2d8, and then let's say you got a 5 and a 4, you got 1 success because you met the difficulty with one of your die. And then you compare that to this, where it's the number of successes you roll determines what happens based on what happens when you roll. So 0 successes is you failed at whatever you're trying to do. 1 success means it's success at a cost. You get what you want, but there's some kind of a drawback. 2 means it's complete success. You accomplish what you're trying to do with no drawbacks. And 3 or more successes means you succeed and you do it a little bit better, so there's some kind of a benefit. And then for average difficulty, if something's like 2, it's easy, but it's not a trivial thing. 4 is about average difficulty. 6 is very hard, and if something has difficulty 8, that means it's nearly impossible. You have to roll an 8 in order to get a success on that. That is really hard. So there are 8 stats. 4 of the stats are magical. 4 of the stats are mundane. One of my favorite systems had a similar system and worked an overall package as a 3 where there were 9 skill attributes, 3 each in physical, mental, and spiritual, and those categories had their own total. Yeah, so this game is yes, thinking of how skills can be used. All right. You roll the number of T8s equal to your ranks in that particular skill against whatever difficulty the GM decides upon. Okay. Alright, any roll that meets or beats the difficulty is counted as a success, and the total number of successes is used to determine the outcome. Okay, great. Next. Yeah. Exactly. So this game is a heading 3. Okay. This game is about magical girls. Well, it can be magical people of all kinds. But the genre is referred to as magical girls. Okay. And turn this in. Do I want to do this in 2 columns? No, I'll do this in bulleted list. Okay. 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 Yes, it can be Spice Girls. Exactly, Tom. Uh, and okay. That's the 4 mundane skills. And then turn this heading 3. Then turn this bulleted list. Okay. Faith. Okay. Could turn this into a double column. No, I want this to be very visible, so I don't want it to be too crowded, but I could turn this into a double column. Maybe. Let's see what this looks like first. Okay. Cool. All right. Up. Okay. There we go. Great. All right. That's the skills. It's the basic skills for character creation. Now let's look at starting health and defense. See, this is where I'm wondering if I should have explained defense earlier because yeah, I'm going to explain defense earlier because right now explaining starting health and defense doesn't super work because I haven't introduced defense yet. I could introduce defense here, but it's more of a general thing. So I'm going to put it, I'll put it right here. What size did I have this? This is heading 2. Okay. Okay. So that's the thing, Tom. What I'm trying to create is a very generalized system with a lot of options that can be used to tell any kind of magical girl story. I'm not creating any one specific world as the default. Yeah, this is definitely a rough draft. Arcana sounds pretty good. I just didn't I'm trying to be wary of how many of pulling names from other games. But that could definitely work. I'll take that into consideration. So I'm not creating any specific like default setting as the default world that the game takes place in. I'm trying to create a setting that can give ultimate freedom to the game master by making as few assumptions about the game world as possible. So I give the game master the freedom to create whatever kind of magical girl story that they can imagine and not have them be constricted by whatever kind of world I'm creating. Does that make sense? Exactly. Yeah, something like that, Tom. Where you can take this system and apply it to any magical girl world and be able to play that game. So I went down this interesting rabbit hole when this idea first started running through my brain, and the rabbit hole was looking at um a lot of like seminars and webinars and things on game design. And one of the things they talked about was that in TTRPGs, you see they can be broken into two broad categories. There are the ones that where you have a system that is used to tell. There are magical girl games. But the thing, so this is what I'm getting into. Um, they can be broken into two broad types, where you have a system that is used to tell a story, or where you have a story with a system attached to play through that story, right? Um, and most, if not all, of the magical girl games I have found thus far have been a story, some kind of predefined world and defined thing with um with mechanics added on to allow you to play through some variation of that story, right? Um, and those are very interesting, and the writers of those games are very creative and come up with some very unique and creative worlds and dynamics, and that's really great. Um, but I want to create a system that gives 100% freedom to the GM to create whatever kind of magical girl story they can imagine, whether it be a goofy slice of life, fun thing with no combat whatsoever, or just social combat, or whether it be a dark, foreboding story where the girl's magic tears them apart, right? I want to create a system that can be used for all of it. All right. Exactly. I want to create a system that has mechanics that you can use to do all of it. Sorry, I realize I'm being kind of loud. All right. Well, I have to be careful about being loud because there are people sleeping right above me. Like I'm in the basement and like there is no like insulation. There's just floorboards, and then on the other side of the floorboards is the bed where people are sleeping. So I have to make sure because like I get really excited because I'm really passionate about this because like this has really been like digging into my brain for a while. Um, so I just want to I want to put it all together. Thank you, Tom. Okay. Uh, Oh, well, I'm just glad you're here, Tom. All right. Character creation. Okay. Playing in the next section. Okay. Events, and we have fortune, misfortune. Okay. True. Okay. More successes. Number of successes are the same. I gotta clarify because I'm trying to make sure, I'm trying to proofread as I go and trying to make sure that I clarify everything, because like there are some things where I write and I will use like a generic term or descriptor and I know what that means. But since my goal is to show this to other people, I need to make sure that I am clear and well stated throughout. Okay. You start with one rank in each skill. On character creation, you add up to 8 ranks distributed as you see fit between all of your skills. No one skill can have more than 3 ranks. On character creation, you get the opportunity to increase skills as you level up. Playing later. Okay. Alright, so that's the starting skills. Trying to use one of these skills. Okay, awesome. Next we get to starting health and defense. So you bring up a good point. So what I was doing, what I was thinking, my version of that was going to be that um normal humans can only have mundane skills. They only have might, agility, intellect, awareness, right? Um and only magical people or monsters um can have the magical skills. Which I should probably clearly state that. I was going to state that in the next section, dealing with the transformation sequences and going from human to magical person. Um, so that's what I was thinking about doing for that. But you bring up a good point that like I should have some kind of a basic stat block for a generic human NPC. Um, but also it's a thing where like a normal human can be charming, but they don't have the magical potential to use that charm to overcome whatever darkness has afflicted the world. That is um yeah. The base like assumption I'm making about the world is that some kind of darkness has come to afflict the world in some way, shape, or form. Uh, and it is something that is here to, it is a threat that's come to strike fear into humanity. And you bring up a good point, Tom. And then because so most magical girl stories take place in a pseudo modern day setting. But I guess if it was taking place in a fantasy setting, there would be other kinds of magical people who didn't have contracts to be magical girls, to be the magical people. So there would be like wizards and mages. Um, okay. All right. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So next we get starting health and defense. That's the next thing. Starting health. Where is this in my notes? There we go. Awesome. Found it. Had to dig through my notes. Okay. Heading 2. For someone who's never played, needs to know where the regular human would sit in relevance and powers and skills. You're creating the system as a measuring point. You bring up a good point. I'd say, and this is one of the reasons why I like doing this on stream, is because I get feedback, I get ideas, I get different things. I'd say average human. So one of the things that there are, as far as the skills, see, this is where things get a little bit sticky, right? You have your skills, and then you gain other traits that you would come up with as you design your character, that will be abilities, powers, and ultimates. And the an ability is a combination of 2 skills, and you would then add up the ranks in those 2 skills and use them if you're rolling with that ability, right? And you gain that as you level up. And then a power is made up of 2. A power is made up of 2 abilities, and then you choose 1 skill from each ability and you add that up for what you roll for the power. And how I was thinking about it was that some monsters and possibly even some humans might have access to abilities, but only like the magical people will have access to powers, and then an ultimate is a combination of 2 powers. So then it's everything. You pick 4 skills that you have and you add them together for your ultimate. But you don't get that till the last level. So that's where I was taking for that, like that limitation of normal human was going to be that normal humans only have mundane skills. And that the most a normal human could have would be an ability. They couldn't have a power. But you bring up a good point that, like, I was thinking average human, or like not average, but I'd say average human is 1 rank. Exceptional human would be 2 ranks. I'll put that in my notes. Hold on. Okay. Start with 1 rank in each skill. Da, 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 da. Okay. Okay. All right. So then that creates a metric to help people with character creation. Okay. It creates a metric. When you create you level 1. Ability, intellect, or courage. Okay. Decision will stick with you as you level up and affect your development growth. Yeah. Also, the system I'm using for this, like this whole thing with the D8 rolling against difficulty 8 skills, like I came up with the names for these 8 skills and how I'm going to apply them, but I'm basing all of this off of a core mechanic called Fantasy Emerge8, which was developed by Titanomachy uh, RPG, and I have a link to their website where they released this the SRD that I'm basing this off of, where I'm getting a lot of these ideas from. And it was really interesting. I posted a link to that in the Discord, not Discord, in the description. Another D word. Um, and I think that was a big eye opener for me. Was learning that people create these systems that, and they put them out there and say, hey, you can create a game using this core mechanic that I've developed and figured out. And then uh you just have to give me credit in your document, and you can even release this stuff for like sale and like sell the games you make using these mechanics. And a lot of the stuff was like lined up, which gave me this toolkit of ideas and concepts which I can use, which is what I'm using in order to develop this game. um So, as far as like resistance, I can there are different. That's one of the reasons why the players have a choice here. Um, yeah. This is one of the reasons why the players have a choice, because they may not be making a character that is all about being buff. They might be doing a social game, or or a different kind of game that requires a different health metric. But I put this as the player choice because I want the players to have the freedom to choose how they're designing their character. So and the defense is the difficulty to try to affect a character that does not want to be affected is their defense. So in this, the defense is your choice of your agility, your intellect, or your courage. And you have to choose that at level 1. And whatever you choose, that's going to stick with you as part of for the rest of your character development. I tried to. So originally, right, when I was rough drafting this, right, I was gonna have 2 sets of health and defense. There was going to be the physical health and defense that was going to be based off of might and agility, and then I was going to have a social health and defense that was based off of um that was going to be based off of awareness and intellect. Uh right now I'm trying to get this down. I'm still rough drafting. I was just trying to keep it as simple as I could, and I thought giving player choice for that might be better. But I mean, you are right. You do have a point that like having the separate stats so that way they all count can be relevant for different types of games that do different things. Well, I appreciate the input, Tom. Okay. Okay. That's starting health and defense. What's next on my list? Human and magical people stats, and then I have to get into the classes. All right. We're almost at the end of character creation. Bring up a valid point, Nabaru. I'm just trying to get this together because I'm worried that I'm gonna get that it's gonna. I'm one of the things I'm very concerned about is feature bloat, is having, or also called feature creep. Hmm. Because like we already have at least a few pages of information so far, and we haven't even gotten through character creation yet. We've got most of character creation. Still have to get to the classes. The classes are definitely something that I'm still working on. Ah. Okay. Yeah. I have for the had something. Okay. I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate the input, Tom. I'm just like I have this. So I have. Let me show you. Um, I have. So I have this long text, this long notepad document, right, with all of my thoughts, and it is all out of order and jumbled to all get out, right? Um, completely out of uh yeah, I want to make something that's slightly simpler than D&D, um while still being very versatile. um so like I have this notepad document that's so like convoluted. There's no way, because if I want to like talk to people about doing playtests or whatever, I have to hand them rules, right? And like there's no way I can hand them this jumbled up document and be like, hey, read this and make a character, right? So that's why I'm trying to put this together and organize my thoughts. I put together a table of contents of the order I want things to go in up here. And right now we're here. So all the things that have the question mark next to them means that I haven't all the things on this list with a question mark on them means I haven't come up with the answers yet, so they're probably not going to be in the PDF. So I have a lot of things figured out. I just uh have to nail down some stuff. But I'm working. All right. But yeah, I started working on this a couple weeks ago, and I did a stream where I was getting a lot of ideas down and jotting down a lot of ideas. And I've been working on it slowly in my spare time since then. And I just wanted to have some dedicated time. That's why I'm streaming it tonight. Just doing some dedicated time to put it all together. All right. All right. I'll explain what actions are later when we get to turn order and all that stuff. Yeah, I've seen people who get really turned off by like big complex rule sets. Um and I'm just wary of throwing in so many things that no one's going to want to play my game. All right. Transform, you're protected by some kind of glamour that makes it impossible to identify you. And then okay. Oh no, where'd the music go? Where'd the music go? There we go. Okay. Appear to be a normal human. Okay. Keeping that simple. The transformation just gives you access to the magical skills. Alright, now I have to go through classes. Which these are still work in progress. These are all still work in progress. So this is all of this is still in testing. I base this off of looking at the TV tropes list of different types of magical girls. That is where I ba, ba. Skill ranks. Character creation, you would play. Okay. All right. Starting health and choose your starting class. This all. Roleplay. I'm gonna leave that alone. Because I haven't finished defining all the social track stuff yet. All right, starting health and defense. The choose your class. Okay, there we go. Cool. And I've actually said how to create. Okay, let me make. Boop. There we go. Cool. 8 ranks. Okay. That's good. Okay, there we go. That formatting looks good. Transformation still clunky. Now let's get to the next big chunk. Okay. Uh, Okay, each one. Ability. Okay. Okay. That gain smaller spells. Okay. True. Okay, there we go. Cool. Magical Idol Singer. Spend one token to give one ally that can see or hear you clearly. One motivation die. Okay, scenes. Okay, cool. The rest of these are just really simple. Like I came up with ideas for the first two, but then the rest of these are just really simple. this difficulty, which can essentially like I'm gonna design characters. I'm planning to design example characters that use a lot of these different traits. But it's still in the design phases. I'm just trying to get this down so before I can get the examples put together. Okay. 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 Oh, whoop. Okay, there we go. Any trait. Ability. Okay. Okay. Oof. We've made some great progress tonight. Did we finish? Let me check my notes. Yeah, we finished character creation. So, of the things that's left, I just have to explain combat and leveling up, and that's going to be most of what I have done. I might do that Friday. I don't know. Or I might work on that over the week. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how long this is. I'm actually curious. Let me see how long this is. Okay. Not doing anything. Small text. No, I'll turn off small text. I want this to be clear and easily read. Okay. All right, now let's take a look. Ooh. All right. So this is the PDF we've made so far. So it starts here. I do need to fix that at some point. I was worried about that. I was really worried about that for the page thing, so I'll have to move that down. I'll have to do some spacing. Yeah, I'll have to move, so I have to move that 2 lines down. Defense is fine. Character creation, skills. Robot feels like it's too big of a... And classes. So we are up to... This document's at 6 pages so far. But we've got the most of them. Well, see what happens when we get to the range bands and actually describing combat and conflict. All right, let's start winding down for a little bit now that we've seen where all of this goes. Yeah, well, it's gonna move down to 7 pages once I start moving stuff around and doing some formatting. Because I already want to move everything down 1 line to get this, so you can move that down 1 line. Then move these down another line. They'll be down here. And then it should bump everything there. Okay. Okay. I like it. It's a start. It's got the basic mechanic. Get the start of character creation, everything you need in order to build a level 1 character. Not everything you need in order to play the game, so that's my goal, is to have everything you need in order to play the game put together in this document. Ooh. That was a pretty productive night. Oof. Let's see if there's anything cool to talk about. All right. Da-da-da-da. Oh, right. See if there's any cool memes to talk about in these last 15 minutes as we wind down for the night. Gosh, how edgy was I 10 years ago? I just saw a tweet I made on this day, yeah, 10 years ago. Not tweet, I wasn't on Twitter then. A Facebook post where I said, I'm not destructive, I'm deconstructive. There's a difference. And I'm like, how edgy was I 10 years ago? Oh my gosh. So there's a picture of a piece of corn going through someone's windshield. And the caption says, Amish ninjas aren't real, they can't hurt you, but the Amish ninjas are real. Alright. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Uh, yeah, definitely got a lot done, Nabiru. So what are you planning to do for this week, Nabiru? What's on your mind? What are you planning? You gonna be reading more? Or is Bofuri back from hiatus? I'm glad. Sad, only a few episodes left, then I'll have to start watching more off my list. Oh, really? It's funny, Silva and I are chugging our way through Attack on Titan right now and Macross 7. And I'm also working my way through Votoms, Armored Trooper Votoms, which is definitely interesting. I'm thinking one of these days I'm going to like uh pick up and actually watch Madoka Magica because like I've heard about how dark it is. I've heard all of the stories and all of the things about how dark and heartbreaking and all that stuff. And like I've seen a lot of heartbreaking magical girl anime, uh like Yuki Yuna is a Hero was a really heartbreaking one. I still have to watch season 2 of Yuki Yuna as a Hero. Yeah, I've heard about the evil. What's it, QB? The the contractor being evil and in some way. I don't know how they're evil. I just know that they're evil. Um, And like part of me feels like it's a thing where since I'm making a magical girl game, right? That I should watch something that's become the stereotypical like dark magical girl. So many things like whenever I look online at magical girl TTRPGs, I see a lot of them are based on Madoka Magica. A lot of them say that they're inspired. A lot of them are the dark magical warrior that are based on Madoka Magica. And I'm like, I want to see more of this thing that's inspired so much stuff. I'm presuming that's a pun. Somebody gets beheaded. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Madoka's overrated. I dropped it after episode 1 because the art is mediocre and the voice acting, even in Japan, is bad. Okay. Thought a meme I have to share. Hold on. You dropped it after 3 episodes, Nabiru. Okay. Interesting. I saw this comic I gotta share with you all. Room Two adventurers find a room that has a chest and a 10-foot pole. Players are like, well, be careful. That chest might be another treasure chest mimic. DM says, do you really think I would do something as trite as having 2 treasure chest mimics in a row? Players like, I don't know, but I won't be fooled twice. Oh. I don't know how clear it was. The pole mimic. Ba, 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 ba. Oh my gosh, this is funny. I know you do. And that one's hilarious. Just haven't looked good for a while. Konosuba equals D&D, casual D&D. Slayers equals D&D with idiot pros. Yes, it is quite savage. Oh no! Apparently, Multiversus is going offline. I just saw that. I mean, I never played it, but I know people were excited about it. It's going offline with them planning to relaunch it sometime uh, in 2024. Oh, all right. Oh my gosh. One last thing before I do the outro. They're on a ghost double date. Yeah, I agree with that, Silva. All right. Classified by who, Naberu? Who's classifying who's classifying the anime as superpowers instead of magical girls? Is there some library of magical girl media, like the Library of Alexandria? Oh, my anime list and anime planet. Ah, interesting. Oh my gosh. Apparently a dog wandered into a what's this, jitsu? Some kind of like, yeah, it looks like a jujitsu competition, and a dog just wandered in and started trying to protect its owner, who was wrestling, who was doing the jujitsu stuffs. All right, I will. Here. All right, gonna be the Twin Tail Sinful Gear, our superpowers. That's bizarre because they are definitely magical girls. They are singing magical girls. Really, that's funny, Naberu. But I mean, that's also like I don't deal with my anime list or any of that other stuff. Okay, it is pseudoscience sound magic BS. It is pseudoscience sound magic BS shenaniganry. Ah. I don't watch enough anime to use that stuff. Anyway, let's wind down for the night. It's after 11:30 where I am, so let's wind down. So, I like to end my streams by saying nice things about my viewers and speaking positive things into their lives. So, I will say to Nexus Sheep, to Silva, to Naberu, to Tom, to anyone else who watched uh, and just lurked in the background. I didn't say anything else. And to anyone who watches the VOD later, I want to say that I love all of you and I believe in each and every one of you. I think that you all are truly unique, one of a kind, precious treasures. That each one of you possesses a special, worthwhile energy that only you can bring to everything you do. I believe that your hopes and your dreams are valid and important. I believe uh, uh, that you all make this world a better place by living in it, and I'm grateful every day to live in a world with you in it. Thank you for coming to my stream. Thank you for uh, watching and giving me your time, your attention, and your energy. I appreciate having you all here as part of the Star Hunter community. And always remember the Star Hunter motto: shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always stop to enjoy the memes. Next stream is going to be uh, Friday at 8:30 p.m. EST. I don't know. We might be doing more of this. We'll see where I am. Things are in flux right now. Um, with that said, I ask that you like the stream. It helps the algorithm with putting it out. If you have any friends or family or other people that you think might enjoy my content, feel free to invite them to stream or show them my VODs or any of my other content. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing here on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet and ding the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live or when I release any new content. And if you want to keep up with what I'm doing outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Twitter or join my Discord. Links to both of those are in the description down below. Always remember, you do not have to donate to be a member of this community. You don't have to pay to be welcome here. Just your time and your attention is payment enough. with that said, if you ever feel motivated to donate to improve the stream or to improve my life, there are links where you can do that down in the description below. Have yourselves a wonderful night. And like I said, next stream is going to be Friday, 8:30 p.m. EST. Have a good night, everybody.